How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another great episode of the Kyle Hartman Project. I'm on episode 15 and I have a really awesome guest that I'm super excited to introduce to you guys today. Shea Jackson is her name. I call Shea Wonder Woman. She is a woman of all women. She does so much that, when I follow her and I watch some of the things that she gets involved in, man, it's just inspiring to see somebody doing so much. Shea, it's an honor to have you on my show. I'm really excited that you were able to take time out of your Sunday afternoon to talk to me and to be a part of my show. I want to introduce you, but first I want to let everybody know Shea is married to the first guest that I ever had on my show, Ronnie Jackson. And so they are a team, and it's really exciting to see them work together, create different businesses, and pursue different passions. One thing that we're mainly here to talk about today is the fact that Shea is an aspiring independent musician and artist. So, Shea, I want you to talk about that and introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me, Carl. I'm super excited to be on your show, and it's amazing, and I just thank you so much for the opportunity. But yeah, I'm Shea K. Jackson, and I'm an artist that I'm from Atlanta originally, and so I'm just excited to just catapult my career to even the next level from where it's been. We recently just got back from Europe, and so that was an awesome experience in and of itself. I had the opportunity to tour some cities in Europe and in Italy with some well-renowned artists, and prior to that was in kind of up and down the East Coast and in the United States. And so just had an opportunity to open up for a lot of R&B and gospel artists. And then once in Europe, I had an opportunity to headline some of my own shows and then tour with a wonderful R&B soul artist by the name of Cheryl Porter, who taught me so much and took my career really to the next level. And now I'm just back in the States ready to rock and roll here. And I'm just super excited to be back. So
wow,
that's where I am right now.
So you mentioned R&B and gospel. Is that particularly your forte with music?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I grew up in the church, and so I think it's important that as an artist, various genres, obviously, but the one that I am the most familiar with and the type of artist I am is definitely R&B and soul as well, and gospel, which, I mean, if you look at the history of R&B music, it definitely stems from gospel. And, your James Browns and your Whitney Houstons and, your Fantasias, your Jennifer Hudsons, all R&B soul artists, but, their roots are definitely in the church. And so that's me, actually. Grew up in the church, sang in the choir, led the praise and worship team, but it seems that kind of the direction that my career has taken has definitely stemmed outside of the four walls as well. And I think what better place to let your light shine outside of the hospital. The church is like the hospital, but, the people in the hospital are sick. So you kind of have to go outside and let your light shine to other people as well. So that's definitely my genre for sure, yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. And now you said you toured in Europe. You had all these opportunities. And so with that, basically, are you putting out your own music? I mean, do you write your own music? What's the process there?
Yeah, I get that question literally all of the time, and I'm definitely ready to get an album out. I think that for me, the past few years have been so full of live and opening and singing being an opening act and singing background for celebrities and, doing live shows. But I think it's equally as important, especially because it keeps coming up, to get my own music out there, original material. So I do write. I definitely will be working with some writers as well that are established and solid in their writing skills and, collabing and getting in the studio and definitely getting an EP out, definitely by 2018 for sure.
Well,
so I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for you, but one thing that I would say, just with your reply there, would be, to value the time that that you have. We have so much time, and I preach this a lot in a lot of the content that I create and stuff like that. But just it seems like you mentally are gonna do huge things because you have a plan. And I wouldn't worry
Right.
about the fact of when you come out with that album or that EP. I think it's definitely good to have a goal and a timeline for that. But I think the things that you're doing in the meantime are really what sets you apart from, say other artists who don't have any music out, but they're not taking the steps in the meantime like you are to, when that
Right.
album does come out,
Right.
it's going to get sold and it's going to get played and it's going to be loved. And your voice is going to be
Awesome.
heard.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I just think that that was a great answer to what I asked. So that's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It is, and I'm excited. Definitely.
So you went to Europe. I want to also point out for anybody that's listening that doesn't know you, you just had your third child as well. Is that correct?
I did. I did. My snuggle bunny is 8 weeks, so I'm definitely I've got my hands full,
Yeah,
to say the least.
I wanted to point that out because I notice how much you guys have going on a regular basis, and just how much constant motivation still pours from you guys. All your social channels, I can't wait to share them with everybody just because you guys inspire me. I mean, you especially having your third kid, going to Europe, touring, um, you know, working, just so much work that is involved with the career that you're choosing to go down. But you're doing it.
Right.
I mean, you're succeeding. So it's really, really inspiring to have you, especially on my show, but just to know somebody that is doing that in life. Because then I
Thank
wake up and I see
you.
that my friends are doing things like that, and that really helps me. So thank you for
Yeah, yeah.
for working as hard as you do.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
so we covered Europe. We talked about potential plans for some newer music. What other things? Let's talk about for anybody out there listening that might want to pursue a career in music, or maybe they know they're very talented and now they just need a some sort of guidance to where to put their work and their energy towards to get to that next level. What would you
Yeah.
say to those kind of people listening right now?
Well, I would definitely say first and foremost that this industry is not a microwave industry or sprint industry. It's a marathon. It's a crock pot industry. And though, where we live in a social media driven society and things, are happening and people are being discovered on Instagram, people are being discovered on YouTube, one of the things that I think is important, be ready, because this is something that I've been doing since I was 7 years old. I remember going to my mom at 7, and telling her I wanted to be like the next Raven Simone when Raven Simone used to rap. And I don't know, it may be before some people's time, but when she had Sugar and Spice and she was rapping, and I went up to my mom and I'm like, I want to be the next Raven Simone. And from then, she put me in the acting classes, and I started doing, plays and theater, and I, began to sing in the church and, lead songs in the church, and just kind of curtail my gift and work on my gift. And so it's like, be ready, because when it hits and it comes, it's going to come quick, but it's like you have to prepare yourself, and don't just one of the things my husband says all the time, you got to have on blinders, like Kentucky Derby blinders, where those horses are just focused on the finish line. Because if you get caught up on this artist being successful, or you have a friend who may be in the same industry and you feel like their career is catapulting faster than yours, you can easily get caught up in all of that versus focusing on your goal, where you're going, and enjoying the journey. With me, I have, like you said, a ton of things. I mean, I'm a wife, I'm a mother. I don't have one kid, I don't have two, I
She's
have
got
three.
three.
So it's like I have the role, and those hats that are, priority for me, obviously. And then I also have, my career. So really just learning how to stay focused and pace yourself, and, not get caught up on, it has to happen like today, right now. And if it doesn't happen the way I want it to happen, then it's not going to fit in my box and in the way I want it to happen. Just let it flow. You know, I would have never thought I would have become the artist that I became in North Carolina when my husband was in the military, or gone to Italy and opened up at the Pavarotti Theater. You could have never told me in a million years it would have happened that way, because my vision was not that large, I guess, you know, but it can happen in so many different ways, and you just have to really be open to receive, you know, hey, this is going to happen, and let me just let it flow, you know, let me just be ready, you know, so that's definitely something that I would say.
The harder you work, the luckier you get, basically, where, you know, she says to always be ready. I love that, because, and that's exactly what I was saying too, about how you're working in the meantime on things that you know you need to get to the next level. So always just create a tunnel vision. Once you get a tunnel vision, like Shea mentioned, you got to block out everything that's going to distract you from that tunnel vision, whether it be, you know, if your best friend in the whole entire world doesn't see your vision, but you see it to the core, you have to start creating a life that's going to deter you from them weighing you down. And you have to just stay to that tunnel vision, stay to the course. So, wow, that was that was really good insight. I think we can kind of keep snowballing on that as well, if you'd like.
Yeah, definitely.
So you, some of the things that you were doing, like we said, working in the background. Some people, you know, wonder what we're talking about. One of the biggest things that I can probably say for most people that this would apply to would be networking. Would you agree on that, Shea?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I kind of had to teach myself that, because I'm outgoing naturally. You know, I love to talk. I'm an actress, you know, as well. So I kind of do that for a living. But then I'm introverted. You know, I'm like the homebody that doesn't go to the club, and I stay at home, and I just, you know, like to watch Netflix all day. So I had to teach myself how to network. I had to teach myself how to be very persistent in this industry. And so it kind of flows naturally, because I know how to turn it on and turn it off. But you definitely have to network. You have to get out there. You have to meet people. You can do it from social media too. You know, you just have to have the confidence. And one of the things, some people say fake it till you make it. I mean, I think I like to say face it till you make it, because sometimes you can pretend to be, you know, that artist or that career-driven person, and no one has to know that you're really not. But you can definitely walk and stand and hold your head up as if you are, and it will literally attract the right type of person to you. I believe that. I'm a strong believer in,
I agree.
You know, that. And so, you know, you can attract the person that you're wanting to become simply by just being it, you know. And so, yeah, I definitely think networking is absolutely imperative for success. I do.
And not only that, I think that once you get to a level where you care so much about the mission you're on and the goals you have set, you then become more, I guess you start to care a little bit more about the people that start to see your vision along with you, which then gives you that following. And I think once you care about, you know, instead of viewing followers as just a number to get you to your next level, when you start actually diving into each of those followers and conversing with them, not only is that making you spend more time, you know, a little more wisely, because you're interacting with people that are where you want to be, or they're where you are. You know, it's just like-minded, common interest type things.
Absolutely.
And so
that
was a lot of my motive for this podcast was, like you said, I had when you were talking about the things, your characteristics as far as being introverted and extroverted and things like that, I completely related. I think that a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people that are really dedicated to their passions in life, they turn into that because they have to, based on you know, time and that tunnel vision. But
right.
I just think that it was neat that you mentioned that, and yeah, I'm excited to really get this out to a lot of ears, because I think that it's going to provide so much value for people if they listen in, and they're wondering about some of these things that they can be doing. So definitely get in
Yeah,
touch with
yeah.
Shea or myself if you guys are listening. If you want some help on how we've networked with people, just certain things like that. And so, along with
Absolutely.
networking, what other things have you been doing? What other things can we tell the followers and the listeners? Um, Maybe not so much just in music, but in life in general, as far as
And life
creating kind
in
of like the
general, yeah.
habits that they need.
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things is that you have to believe in yourself. I think that I'm big on um, there are a lot of grinders, there are a lot of hustlers, there are a lot of people hitting the pavement and really wanting to go get it. But I think that sometimes you just kind of have to believe in yourself first, because you can get caught up in the hustle and bustle of it all, and a lot of that comes with a lot of rejection, a lot of people telling you no, a lot of people slamming the door in your face. You got to really have tough skin and be able to say that, hey, I'm going to be relentless regardless of the failures, which really are just lessons. I don't necessarily believe in failures. I think failures are lessons to be
I
learned
agree.
and experiences.
Yeah.
But I think being relentless and believing in yourself are really, really key, because it's it's cliche as it may sound. It's a cold world out there, and
Yes.
there's a lot of rejection out there, and there are a lot of people trying to do the exact same thing that you're doing, whatever that is. You can be trying to become a doctor. Well, there are thousands of hundreds of thousands of people that want to become doctors, and everyone is not going to make it because, one, they're not going to believe in themselves to the full extent, or they're going to give up on themselves, and they're not going to be relentless. They're not going to want to, do the necessary steps that it takes to become that doctor or lawyer or preacher or teacher or artist or rapper or whatever,
Anything.
entrepreneur,
Yeah.
Yeah, anything. And so you have to believe in yourself beyond what anyone else will ever be able to believe in you, because there's going to come a time where you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to stop. You may feel like you're failing, but you have to believe in yourself and you have to be relentless.
I saw a really neat meme, I guess you could call it, online the other day. And I'm not a huge country fan. I mean, I've listened to country a lot, but it was a side by side picture of, who Carrie Underwood is, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, country star.
Yeah, she's
And
amazing.
so it was somebody that shared it on Facebook, I believe, but it was a side by side of her at her American Idol audition, and then it was a picture of like
Mhm.
her with all this, makeup and glitz and glam, and she was just rocking out,
Mhm.
screaming into the microphone. And
Yeah.
the caption was just like, "Hey, she didn't even want to go to this. It took, I think it was like her mom pushing her, and
Yeah.
just
It
giving
was.
her that
Yeah.
kick to go in there, and look how it changed her entire life." And so,
Entire life. Yeah.
yeah, you
She
just,
was on a farm, like taking care of chickens and cows and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I'm very familiar with Carrie Underwood. So yeah,
it's a good
yeah.
example, I thought.
I love it.
So, what are your plans if you start? Okay, so let's just say you come out with an EP and an album, and things are kind of rolling along with the music. What are your plans once people start listening to the music? Are you planning on becoming more of a public figure with the music, and making it more of an art? Are you going on tour? What kind of creative things do you have rolling for, say, the next 5 and 10 years with your music career?
Yeah, definitely. I think that, for one, yes, I definitely want to be a public figure in the sense of just being able to inspire people, specifically women and girls and ladies that have given up on their dreams. Because for me, my situation is a little bit different. It kind of, I forgot, but it kind of happened backwards, because I
Okay.
became the wife first and I became the mother first. And even though I've been doing this since I was a child, level that it has kind of gone from, level to level to level, going higher and, being, I guess, more established in my career, it kind of happened after the marriage and after the kids. And so for me, for a while, I'd given up on the career side of things just because I felt like I couldn't do both.
Okay.
And so, yeah, in answer to that question, in the next 5 to 10 years, I definitely intend on just being that public figure, being that inspiration, allow my music to speak to other people. And then, of course, yeah, touring. I would love to go back to Europe and tour. I would love to, even maybe do some things with, some other world-renowned artists that are already established. And so I definitely want my album and my EP and, the things that I do in the entertainment industry to always be an encouragement for other artists and just other women, other people in general, for sure.
That is awesome. I'm very excited, too, because I know that I'm waiting, almost like excited for when you start producing a lot of stuff on your own, and just seeing once you have music on all the apps that I listen to music on, and I can just share it to the world, because I've already gotten to see a lot of, you and your family, and just the way you guys operate, your work ethic. And guys, when she says she wants to inspire people, I mean, you've already done that, but I just see that happening on a global level when it comes to Shea and Ronnie. I mean, you guys are just two outstanding individuals. So it's been an awesome pleasure having you on my show. I think we're coming down. We have about 5 minutes left. So I didn't know. I always ask my guests for a quote that they might live by or that they might have on the show. So I didn't know if you had anything that you would want to share with our guests, as far as some sort of quote or just sort of life, lesson, I guess you will, for the people listening.
Yeah, definitely. I think one quote that I really like and live by is that whatever you believe, you will become. And so with that being such a powerful quote, I think that people have to understand that you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you are the one. I have a mentor of mine who says that, I am the one, literally looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I am the one, because you will attract everything that you need to attract with the power of your mind. Before you step out and network with anyone, you first have to believe in yourself, and you first have to understand that you have all of the tools that you need inside of you. And when you get a hold of that, you are unstoppable. So that's definitely one quote that I thoroughly live by.
How many famous actors or actresses, singers, you always hear them talking about their past, and how many times, in high school or just growing up, that they would say they performed in front of a mirror over and over, chanting what is now their name, and a lot of people would make fun of it, but they held to it. And now, those same people that made fun of them are kind of asking how they got there.
Oh man, I've had so many brushes and toothbrushes and microphones looking in the mirror. I mean, years and years and years of it. And it doesn't stop, It doesn't, so I totally concur, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, Shea, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on my episode 15. I'm very excited to be close to your family. You guys inspire me every day. It's a pleasure to get to talk to you and Ronnie on a regular basis. I'm excited to share this episode. I want everybody out there that's listening to really just take into consideration what we've talked about. Try to just stay in constant pursuit of progression. Don't worry about perfection. Perfection will come later, the more you work towards your dream. And so, Shea, it's been a pleasure. I want to thank all of your listeners and all of your followers. If any of you guys tuned into my show, it's been a very humbling experience to know that, random strangers took time out of their day to listen to what I had to say on my show. So thank you guys for that. Shea, I'll leave you the floor. Take your time. We have a couple minutes.
Oh, definitely. Well, I just want to say thank you for having me. I think that this is such an awesome podcast, and what you're doing and uplifting people and inspiring people is amazing. So thank you for having me, and I'm super excited for your journey and for you. So thanks so much, Kyle, for having me on the show.
My pleasure. All right, guys, it's been another great episode. I hope you all enjoy this one. Have a wonderful weekend. Let us know. Give us some feedback on what you think. If you guys listen to R&B, gospel, if anybody out there that appreciates any good music, you'll appreciate Shea. She has a beautiful voice. I've listened to a lot of her stuff. Very exciting to see where her career is going to head. And we'll keep you guys updated, of course. Tune back in next week, and thanks for tuning in to the Kyle Hartman Project. See you later.